Stop the scroll. Have you ever dreamt of waking up to clear air, the birds singing, no traffic? Then maybe an acreage in central Alberta is for you. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about acreages, specifically in central Alberta. I'm going to tell you the prices. I'm going to tell you how many's on the market. I'm going to tell you how many's sold. And best of all, I'm going to cover 4 counties: Red Deer, Lacombe, Mountain View, and Knee Hill. And this year alone, I've sold in every one of those counties. So I am the acreage expert. My name is Jason Walls. I'm with the Walls Real Estate Group, along with Shalane. We have been over 30 years of experience within central Alberta, and I specialize in acreages. We cover it all. So if you're looking to buy or sell, give us a call. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about acreages, and I'm going to educate you. Some people think they want an acreage. They don't really know what's all involved. Some people have had an acreage. They've gone away. Maybe they want to come back. So let's talk about a little bit of what is in the market today. I'm going to highlight the pros and cons of each of the counties. And I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the prices, how long they're on the market, what you can look for specifically if you're looking to buy an acreage, because a lot of people want an acreage, but they really just don't know a lot about them. So you really have to have somebody that's in your back corner that not only have sold a couple acreages, but 1, has a farm background, 2, I've probably sold over 100 acreages. So I really do know what to look for. I really do look out for our clients. There's a lot of things that can be hidden that people just don't understand. We're going to highlight some of those. So what I would ask is, if this information is useful, please hit the like, subscribe button so you get notifications of all our videos. And as you know, moving to central Alberta is Shalane and I's channel. So if you want to learn more about them, hit the like button. We'll make sure you learn what you want to. So a lot of people say to me, why central Alberta? Well, central Alberta is still one of the lowest priced areas within Alberta. Certainly, we get a lot of people coming from Ontario, BC, even from Saskatchewan, and we even get some from international. Acreages within central Alberta, I mean, obviously anybody that's been in this area, it's beautiful. Grass is green, the crops are lush, there's lots of cattle running around, there's bison, horses, there's all sorts of things. But I'm going to tell you a little bit what I think is best about central Alberta, not just the price, so stick around. So a lot of our videos, we always talk about Red Deer. Red Deer really is Shalane and I's central point. We kind of go for a big radius, right, really from Airdrie to Leduc, Rocky Mountain House to Stettler. So we really know the areas, and every area, depending on what you're looking for, whether you're looking for more in the West Country for the trees, foothills, mountains. If you want to be more on the east side of Highway 2, where there's more cropland, pasture land, the prices are a little bit less on the east side of Highway 2. And if you want to go to the west side, it's a bit more. You start getting down to south where Crossfield, Airdrie, those acreages are going to be more money again. But maybe you're working out of Calgary, and so that makes geographical sense for you. So let's go and talk about which ones are best and what you're looking for. Some of the things that we really ask at the beginning of meeting somebody as to what they're looking for is, are you looking to have animals? Do you want to have a hobby farm? Do you want to have maybe a market garden? Do you want to be able to look at, neighbors in a subdivision acreage? Or do you want the privacy of this acreage here? The one we're staying at right now is one of our listings. It's 7.7 acres. It has this beautiful old barn in the background that you can see. That barn was built in 1937. It's beautiful. It has a natural house site. It used to be a homestead. So we have it listed for $380,000. It's not going to last, but this is just one example of the acreages that we do have. So there's some that are 1 to 2 acres, and there's some acreages we have that we sold that's been 15 to 20 acres. So those people are wanting more to have the animals, the horses, the cattle. They want to have the privacy. They don't want the neighbors close by. So there's all sorts of different ones that you're looking for. So when we ask you to get started, we want to know what type of acreage you want, what your budget is, of course, where you're working, how far they commute, where are the kids going to school, what type of sports are they looking for, do they want 4-H, do they want motocross racing, any of those sorts of things. We always try to take all that into account when we're picking the geographical area. The beautiful part about Central Alberta is the close-knit communities. So it doesn't matter which community we seem to be around with the acreages. Like I say, we do Three Hills, we do Rocky, we do Innisfail, Stettler. I mean, I could list off all the towns, but the communities really are friendly. The people are nice. Like I'd mentioned with the Alberta Advantage, and specifically the Central Alberta Advantage, is low taxes. These acreages have really low tax rates. So the real advantage of Central Alberta as well is the cost point. So I'm going to go through the costs of each of the counties. I'm going to highlight what is sold, what's active, but the tax base is really low in Central Alberta. All right, so as I mentioned, let's go through some prices. So right now, what I would like to put in as a disclaimer is if you're looking at this video a year from now, please check with your local realtor. Yeah, Jason Walls, the Walls Real Estate Group, or Shalane Walls. Check with us, make sure to get updated pricing. So this video is done in the spring of 2026. I am going to highlight today all of the price points of the 4 counties as of right now. But like I said, if you're looking at this video in the future, please check with me. I can update your pricing and get you the most up-to-date current information. So again, if you're looking to move in 9 days, 90 days, or a year from now, give Shalane and I a call. We're here, we're your experts, we'll look after you. Let's get going. Okay, I'm just going to give you a brief overview. As I mentioned, the 4 counties we're looking at today is Red Deer County, which is the community or the county surrounding Innisfail, Red Deer. That's the most generalized way of describing Red Deer County. Then we're going to look at Mountain View County, which is really from south of Innisfail to south of Didsbury and east and west. That's Mountain View County. Then I'm going to look at Kneehill County, which is straight east of Highway 2. Again, the same area, probably a little bit north of Olds to south of Carstairs, and east is Kneehill County. That one is a little bit less money, but we'll go over that as well. And then the last county we're going to talk about today is Lacombe County. So Lacombe County is basically from about Black Falls north to just south of Ponoka. And then from there is Ponoka County, but we're not going to cover Ponoka County today. We want to make sure we keep within our timeline. I want to make sure you guys are interested. I'm not here to dilly-daggle and waste your time. So some people always say to me, Jason, what is the biggest cost drivers of acreages? Well, as you can see from this acreage, it is established. It does have 7.7 acres, but it no longer has a house. But it does have gas, it does have power, and it has a really old well and no septic, but it has a beautiful old barn. So this property here, you're buying it for the land, you're buying it maybe for the beautiful old barn behind me, but you do have to put either a manufactured home or build a home or a house, whatever it is you do. So that is a factor. You also have to consider the other services. So a water well, you need to decide septic, whether you want a mound or a field. You have to bring the gas in. Those are all services. And then if you're also buying a bare acreage, there are a lower price because it's just the bare land. But the thing a lot of people don't consider is the driveway. So that's why you see so many of these acreages so close to the roads. And people say, you got all this land, why would you build so close to the road? Well, it's because of driveways, and driveways cost a lot of money. So you put all your services in, your driveway, your gas, your power, your water, your septic. It really does add up really quickly. And so a lot of people that have never had an acreage before, they like the idea of building and having their own thing and starting with their own plans and building exactly what they want. And that's great, we'll help you do that. But there's also a cost of that. All right, so let's start with the Red Deer County because that's closest to Red Deer and that's our closest community. I want to just look at my papers to make sure that I'm giving you the most up-to-date, accurate information so you can have this for your research. So to this date, up until mid-June 2026, there's been 45 acreages sold within the county of Red Deer. The average price was $967,000. The average close is $935,000. So the ratio between list price, sell price is 97.4%, and the average days on market is 68 days. So acreages really do move quickly in the spring. We list acreages all year round, but honestly, most of the acreages that we sell are from March until the end of October, November. And the reason being is, one, nobody wants to move in the wintertime. Two, a lot of things, when people are leaving the acreages, things are frozen to the ground. You can't move a lot of the items in the wintertime that you would be able to in the summer. And two, a lot of people that want to buy, they want to see what's like in the summertime. They want to know what's like. They don't want to be buying things that are under snowbanks that they weren't planning on buying. So that's one of the reasons why we do more acreages in the summertime than we do the wintertime. Okay, so we want to move on to Mountain View. So Mountain View, we've sold 36 acreages year to date. So the average price is $875,000, so almost $100,000 less than the County of Red Deer. The sold price is $849,000. So again, the sold to list ratio, very similar to the County of Red Deer. We're at 97.6%, whereas we were at 97.35% for County of Red Deer. The average days on market, again, right around the 70, so very similar to the County of Red Deer. Now, if we move to Knee Hill, like I said, Knee Hill's a bit more east, not as much demand, and the price points are a little bit less. So that might be a better option for some people that are a bit more on a tight budget. Only 10 acreages have sold year to date. Average price is $665,000 versus $966,000 County of Red Deer. So that's a big difference, guys. Your sold ratio is $632,000, so your list to sold is 95%. So a little bit bigger gap, but still very close to selling price. Average days on market, 66, so it's just a few days shorter. And then we'll go last to Lacombe County. It's been 15 sales year to date. Average price is $786,000. Closing price is $762,000. So 97.23%. Days on market is 70. So as you can see, most of the acreage is selling very close to asking price within about 30 to 65 days. So that's great. So if I throw all those acreages together, year to date, we sold 144 acreages. Average price, when you look at all of them together, is about just under the 930 price. 79 days is basically the average. Prices range, that's crazy. Here's the price ranges though. $289,000 all the way to $15 million. So most acreages, people say, well, what am I going to get for $500,000? You'll get an acreage like this with more land and not as much for infrastructure, or you'll get a smaller acreage, so less land, and then you'll get a home where you might get a corral or a shop or a garage. So I always tell clients, depending on your acreage or your budget will depend the size and the type of infrastructure. So you know the market is very healthy when properties are selling for 95 to 97% of asking price. It's very balanced, it's very healthy. It's not a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market. Whereas in residential, which Shalane and I see quite often, it will fluctuate from a buyer's or a seller's market. The last few years has been seller's market. But acreage is a little bit different. With 144 actives and 106 sold, that tells you that there's just over 5 months of inventory, which is it's a little bit of a favorable for the buyers. Your sweet spot seems to be, depending on what you looked at for the last 6 months, is about $810,000 seems to be the meridian price, the average price that you're going to see for an acreage. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you're budgeting for. Again, if you want to look at Knee Hill Valley, it's a little bit less money. If you look at Red Deer County or Lacombe County, then you're closer to $1 million for the average. So depending on what your work situation is, family situation, kids, if you can move a little bit farther south or southeast, you'll get a little bit more land for the same bang for your dollar. And as Shalane always says, you gotta keep your dollar bills in your pocket. All right, one other thing we mentioned at the beginning is I want to tell you what to look for. It's one thing to know the pricing, it's one thing to know the market, it's one thing to get your pre-approval. Did I mention pre-approval? Yes, pre-approval. Please get that. And it's a little bit different on acreage than it is on residential as well. So if you get acreage that's going to be larger and there's going to be income generated off the acreage, there will be GST on top of the price. So a lot of clients we've talked to that are coming from, residential or something like that, they're unaware of that because the GST doesn't usually apply. Acreages, if it's country residential, typically there's no GST. But if it's zoned ag and you're generating revenue off it, there might be a portion of that land, there will be GST. So make sure you talk to your accountant. It's really, really important to have that confirmed because obviously it makes a difference of 5% of the price if there is GST applied on it. All right, I'm gonna go through a little bit of a checklist for due diligence on what you're looking for with an acreage. Like I mentioned, if you've had one before, you maybe know all these things, but we really wanna make sure that our clients come into any situation with their eyes wide open. There's no surprises. We never want surprises on possession day. So here we go. The big ones, well tested. So we really want to, obviously, when we take a water sample, we get analyzed, and that goes into the lab to make sure it's good. But we also want to know the depth of the well, the age of the pump, the flow rate, the gallons per minute. So when we do the inspections after the offer's been accepted, before we remove the conditions, is we will make sure the water well has been tested. We know that it flows well. If there's an issue with the water quality or the flow rate, that's all something we can negotiate with the sellers of the acreage. The septic tank. You know what the septic's used for. I'm not going to tell you. But that's another thing that's really, really important to have tested. So when we do the conditions for after we've conditionally got an offer accepted, is there'll be a septic test. So they have to get the septic tank pumped out. Then when the inspector comes, they'll open the hatch, they'll look down to make sure that the septic tank is in good working condition. It's not corroded, it's not breaking down. They'll also check whether it has a field or a mound or an open discharge. Those are all things I'll go into in another day, but those are your different types of septic tank. So you really want to make sure that those are working well. If they're not, it's kind of like the water well. It can become very expensive if the tank needs replaced, feels saturated, or if it's not working properly. So that's another thing we really want to make sure. So that was number 2. Number 3, we do the title search, make sure that it's free and clear, or that it will be on time of possession. We also make sure to know what it's zoned as. As I mentioned, there's ag, which is more for agriculture, typically on the bigger acreages, depending on where they are. You can run a business on an ag zoned acreage. You can run some animals on an ag zoned acreage. If it's country residential, there's more restrictions. So we really got to make sure we understand what the zoning is, as well as what the title has as far as easements, liens, obviously we don't want to have on there. Those things we look at as well. The next, number 4, is road access. And like I mentioned earlier, we sell a lot of acreages in the summertime. What don't you see in the summertime? Those great big snow drifts. So when you're looking at an acreage, you have to consider the distance from the road, whether there's school bus access. Are you buying a tractor, a side-by-side, a quad? What are you going to use to plow those snowy days? Because in central Alberta, we know, as Shalane always mentions as well, there's a ton of snow. So make sure that you're taking into consideration the road access, what you're going to use in the wintertime. Obviously on an acreage like this, you're not going to use a push lawnmower, so you're going to have something with the bigger lawnmower. Those are all costs that you have to take into consideration. Number 5, internet. That's not a big issue in most places, but I just sold one in Nehill Valley last week, and it was in a beautiful home, lower part of a valley. That came up to be a concern is internet. So Starlink, whatever it is that you're using, make sure if you're running a business, you've got internet connection that's going to satisfy you and make sure it meets your demands. Number 6, school buses. Most times, as long as there's children and you're within these counties, there will be a school bus go by the driveway or the laneway, but it is really something you want to make sure. Lots of parents, they'll drive their kids to school as well, but out in acreage, it gets to be a longer distance, so make sure the school bus access is there. We can check for you, but you might want to check as well. Now this number 7, I should have put closer to number 1 or 2, utility costs. So if you're buying a bare land, like I mentioned earlier, you need gas, or whether it's natural gas or whether it's propane, those are your 2 options. A lot of people go with propane because it's cheaper than bringing in natural gas. Power. So if you have quite a ways to go to bring the power from the existing power line to your thing, that gets to be very expensive. So make sure you take into account, if it's unserviced, where the closest power is and where the closest gas is. Number 8, I think, is insurance. So sometimes insurance is a little bit higher because you're farther away from a fire hall. There's obviously no hydrants out in front of your yard like there is in town. So make sure that you get a quote on your insurance prior to writing an offer on your acreage. Number 10, financing. So financing is sometimes different on acreages, especially if it's a larger parcel of, say you're looking at 15, 20 acres. You can't necessarily just put the 5% down that you would. If there's a mobile home, that plays a different factor as far as approval as well. So make sure when you're talking to your lender or your mortgage broker, that they understand exactly what it is you're looking for, and be aware, because it's not the same as buying a house in town. Not always. Sometimes yes, but it's just something you want to make sure that you're aware of. And not all lenders will lend on bare land. Not all lenders will lend on mobile homes. So make sure that when we find you an acreage, before we write the offer, or as soon as we've written it and it's conditionally accepted, we want to make sure you're getting that information to your insurance and to your lender. Now I want to just highlight some of the hidden costs that not everybody always thinks about. So let's start with the well pump. So obviously over time, the well pump gets older. Same as there's also a pump in the septic tank lots of times, unless it's a gravity fed. There's always going to be costs associated with pulling that pump out of the well, checking it, replacing it. And believe me, from past experience, it usually happens when it's 30 below. It doesn't happen when it's 20 above. So be careful with that. Septic tank, you have to get your septic tank pumped out typically every year or two. Now that depends on how big your family is, how big the septic tank is, and a few other variables. But there is a cost associated with getting it pumped out. It's not a lot. It's usually between $300 and $500 depending on travel time for the trucks that come and suck it out, but you do have to budget that in. Another thing we talked about was the laneway or the driveway. So we all know we have to plow in the winter time. There might be a cost associated with that if you don't have your own unit, or maybe you have a neighbor that's kind enough to do it for you. But if not, you're gonna have to hire somebody to do that. You also may have to re-gravel the driveway or the laneway every couple of years. So there's a cost associated with that. And gravel is not cheap anymore. Nothing is it? So just bear in mind some of those costs. Outbuilding maintenance. So if you've got this old barn, you might want to tin it, you might want to repaint it, you might want to touch up some of these other older outbuildings that we have here. There's always going to be maintenance. You might want to redo the corrals. You might want to fence the perimeter with the wire fence or a page fence if you have sheep or goats. So you've always got to look at the expense of making sure that your acreage is equipped to fit whatever it is that you're wanting to do with it. And there's always going to be expenses with that. So even, if you look at this beautiful old farm, you've got the nice corrals. Those corrals still need to be upgraded, updated. The cattle are going to smash through them sometimes, the horses might. So you always got to budget a little bit of money for that. So I just want to summarize the 4 different counties we're talking about today. And again, guys, if any of the information has been helpful, I really do appreciate it if you leave some comments down below. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if we can answer anything for you. Please share it with your friends if they've maybe been talking about looking for acreages. Shalane and I really do these videos to try to help educate clients, and not even for people that are necessarily our clients. If they're looking for somewhere else and it's not in our region, we definitely have referral partners we'll give to, but we're hoping that this will help you out. So the Red Deer County, again, surrounds Red Deer, Innisfail, Sylvan Lake, and it really is close to those larger centers. Schools are close, communities are larger, prices are a little bit higher. Acreages are typically a little bit smaller size because of the price point. That's kind of just a summary of the Red Deer County. Mountain View County, down around the Olds, Didsbury, Carstairs area, that's very much an agriculture community. Great schools, great communities, great sports, very tight knit. A little bit more expensive because it's getting closer to the Calgary thing, but Mountain View County is amazing as well. Then if you want to go to Kneehill County, we've got the smaller communities. We've got Torrington, Three Hills, Trochu, Elnora. Those ones there are more in the Kneehill County and very agriculture based, very close knit, very friendly. Those communities, everybody will wave to you. They'll look out for you if you're having a problem. If your driveway's plowed in someday, I'm sure you'll find somebody down there. Those are really great areas. A little bit less expensive. If you're looking for a little bit more land, that might be the county to go with. And lastly, Lacombe County. So Lacombe County is Lacombe up to Ponoka, north of Blackfalds. Lacombe is an amazing city, amazing community, great schools. They've got the college there. The sports facilities are huge. A little bit closer to Edmonton, still close to Red Deer. A little bit smaller land base because of the price of the acreages in there. So they're more of the subdivision acreages, or the budget is a little bit higher. Typically it's closer to $1 million or a little bit over. So in summary, if you are thinking about buying an acreage, or you know somebody has been thinking about buying an acreage, please reach out to me. I know the market personally. I've bought and sold over 100 acreages within these 4 counties in the last 10 years. I really do love dealing with acreages. I come from a farm background, so it's near and dear to me. I love reaching out to people. I love connecting people that are first-time acreage buyers, or they're downsizing, or they're relocating. But if you or a friend is looking to buy an acreage, please reach out. My information, you can call, text, email myself or Shalane, but please reach out. Let us get the ball started. Let us answer all your questions that we all know everybody has that people don't want to ask. We're here for you. If you'd like, reach out. I can send you a free acreage buying guideline. So if you have questions, I can send that to you. You can read over it. You can have all your questions answered. Whatever isn't, I'll help you out with.